Chapter 1. The Challenge. LIA, with her briefcase under her arm, walks through the cobblestone streets of Neapolis. The city, known for its mix of modern art and classical architecture, seems to mock its lack of success. Each interview concludes with the same phrase, "We'll contact you," a promise as empty as the pages of his agenda. The young designer had dreamed of leaving her mark in the world of design since she was a child, drawing in the margins of her school notebooks. But the reality of professional life was much harsher than his art teachers had led him to believe. Each rejection added weight to the doubt growing inside him. Did he really have what it takes to succeed in this competitive field? One autumn afternoon, after receiving an email informing her of another rejection, LIA decides to walk through the central park of Neapolis to clear her mind. The trees, with their leaves dancing in the wind, seem to whisper words of comfort to him. He sits on a wooden bench, watching the leaves fall, each a symbol of his fading hopes. Disappointment sets deep in LIA. She feels envy and resentment begin to well up inside her as she thinks about her classmates, many of whom have already found their place in prestigious design agencies. Why not me? He asks himself, his heart beating in frustration. In that moment of vulnerability, when the shadows of doubt darken his spirit, an old man approaches and sits next to him. The serenity of his presence contrasts with the whirlwind of emotions that stirs LIA's heart. It is Adriano, a philosophy professor who, by chance, has decided to spend his afternoon in the same park. Adriano observes LIA for a moment, his contemplative gaze settling on the young woman whose sadness seems so out of place on a day so full of life. Finally, he decides to break the silence that surrounds them. Nature has a way of teaching us about change and acceptance, don't you think? Adriano begins, pointing to the leaves falling gently to the ground. LIA looks at him, surprised by the interruption but intrigued by his words. I suppose so, but sometimes, nature seems to make more sense than our own lives. Adriano smiles softly, recognizing LIA's openness to dialogue. It's interesting that you mention it. The Stoics believe that we should live in harmony with nature, accepting what is out of our control while working diligently on what we can control. LIA frowns, reflecting on Hadrian's words. That sounds good in theory, but how am I supposed to not feel bad about constant rejections? I feel like no matter how hard I try, doors close in front of me. Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, once said that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but the opinions we have of them. Your disappointment, although valid, is a response to your perceived rejection, not rejection itself. What matters is how you respond and what you learn from each experience. LIA considers this. The idea of perceiving her failures in a different light seems strangely comforting. So, should I just accept every rejection and move on? He asks with a hint of skepticism. Not simply accept, but reflect and adapt. The life of a Stoic is not passive. It is an active life of continuous improvement. It is finding strength in adversity and learning to be resilient. In your case, every rejection is a lesson, an opportunity to grow and better prepare for the next opportunity. LIA remains silent, Adriano's words echoing deeply. For the first time in a long time, he feels a glimmer of hope, a spark of curiosity about what Stoic philosophy could teach him. I'd like to learn more about Stoicism, he says finally, a cautious determination in his voice. So, let's start at the beginning, Hadrian responds with a smile, ready to guide LIA on her new journey toward understanding and accepting herself through Stoic wisdom. Chapter 2. The Meeting. Adriano and LIA remain seated on the park bench, the soft noise of the city as a backdrop. The autumn breeze moves the fallen leaves in a quiet dance, a silent reminder of the constant presence of change and renewal. Adriano, with his eyes full of years of wisdom and understanding, decides to take the conversation one step further. LIA, allow me to share a story with you. Adriano begins, capturing the young woman's full attention. There was once a Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, whose reign was filled with war, disease, and betrayal. Yet, despite constant trials, he found strength and serenity in Stoic principles. LIA listens attentively. The story of an emperor facing adversity with serenity deeply intrigues her. Marcus Aurelius wrote reflections, thoughts intended only for himself. In them, he he was reminded of the importance of separating what is in his power from what is not. Despite being the most powerful man of his time, he understood that true strength comes from within us, not from our position or wealth. How do I apply that to my life? LIA asks, her interest growing. I am not an emperor, nor do I face wars. The challenges of modern life, although different, are no less difficult, responds Adriano. Rejection, failure, uncertainty about our future. These are all aspects of life that we cannot completely control. However, we can control our perception of them, our response. Therein lies your power. LIA contemplates Adriano's words, reflecting on her own challenges and how she has allowed them to define her self-esteem. I understand. It's like I've been looking at my life through a lens that only focuses on the negative. How do I change that? His voice denotes a mixture of curiosity and anxiety. Start with small steps, suggests Adriano. Each morning, reflect on what you are grateful for. Recognize that each day is an opportunity to grow. When faced with rejection, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Remember, growth often comes disguised as pain. And when you feel that the weight of the world is too heavy, Hadrian pauses, making sure LIA is following. Remember that, as Epictetus taught, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can choose how we respond to them. The sun begins to set, painting the sky's soft shades of orange and pink. The park, with its autumnal beauty and the quiet whisper of nature, seems like the perfect setting for this moment of personal revelation. Thank you, Adriano, LIA says, a genuine smile lighting up her face for the first time in a long time. Today you lit a spark in me. I'm ready to see where this new path takes me. This deepening encounter between Hadrian and LIA not only marks the beginning of a change in LIA's perspective, but also symbolizes the awakening of a new hope. Through the wisdom shared by Adriano, LIA begins to see her life and her challenges in a different light, promising a future where she is the master of her destiny, guided by the Stoic principles of acceptance, growth, and resilience. Chapter 3. Enlightenment. Adriano introduces LIA to the concept of a more fatty, loving destiny. It teaches you that while you can't control the actions of others or the outcome of every job application, you can control your response to these situations. LIA begins to see the light in his words, understanding that rejection does not reflect her value as a person. The weeks following the meeting with Adriano become a period of deep introspection and discovery for LIA. As he devours the texts of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius that Hadrian lent him, he finds in their pages not only solace, but also an inexhaustible source of wisdom applicable to his daily life. One afternoon, while reading a passage from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations about accepting what life offers, LIA has an epiphany. She understands that her pain comes not from the rejection itself, but from how she has chosen to interpret it. This moment of clarity is like a ray of light that dispels the shadows of doubt and despair that had clouded your vision. Empowered by this new understanding, LIA begins to apply Stoic principles in her job search. Before each interview, you mentally prepare yourself for any outcome, remembering that your value does not depend on the acceptance or rejection of others. This practice frees you from the fear of failure, allowing you to present yourself more authentically and confidently. But the influence of Stoic philosophy on LIA goes beyond the job search. He begins to see every aspect of his life through the prism of Stoicism. Small daily frustrations, like heavy traffic or long lines at the supermarket, no longer bother her like they used to. He realizes that his inner serenity is his greatest strength, a strength that no external circumstances can undermine. LIA also begins to value her time alone more deeply, using these moments to reflect and connect with herself. Solitary walks in the park, once a source of melancholy, become an opportunity to practice gratitude and marvel at the simple beauties of life. One night, sitting on her balcony looking at the stars, LIA feels a peace she has never experienced. He realizes that although his situation has not changed drastically, his perception of life has. She no longer sees herself as a victim of circumstances, but as an active protagonist of her own life, capable of facing any challenge with grace and strength. This change in perspective also improves your relationships. LIA becomes more compassionate and patient with her loved ones, understanding that, like her, each person is fighting their own internal battle. Their conversations become more meaningful, often revolving around topics of personal growth and philosophy. Chapter 4. The Change. Inspired by Stoic teachings, LIA begins to apply these principles in her daily life. He finds comfort in acceptance and realizes that rejection is simply a part of life, not a reflection of his inability or lack of talent. With her new Stoic understanding, LIA approaches each day as a new opportunity to practice her philosophical principles. It's no longer just about looking for work. It's about applying Stoic wisdom to every aspect of your life, transforming every challenge into an opportunity to grow. The first test of his new perspective comes unexpectedly. LIA receives a call for an interview at a prestigious design agency, a place where she had dreamed of working since she began her career. However, rather than allowing anxiety and fear of rejection to cloud her enthusiasm, LIA focuses on preparing as best she can, remembering that the outcome is out of her control. The night before the interview, he reviews the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, finding peace and strength in his words. On the day of the interview, LIA presents herself with a calm and confidence that she had never felt before. Her interaction is authentic, her passion for design shines through her conversation, and although she is aware that the work may not be hers, she feels satisfied for having given it her best. Days later, when she receives the news that the position has been awarded to another candidate, LIA feels the sting of rejection, but this time, disappointment does not knock her down. Reflect on the experience, looking for lessons rather than lamenting what could have been. She realizes that this interview was her best performance to date, a testament to the power of serenity and self-confidence. Motivated by this revelation, LIA begins to approach her personal life with the same philosophy. Mend strained relationships with friends and family, approaching conflicts with an open mind and calm heart. He finds ways to contribute to his community, offering free graphic design classes to interested young people, finding joy and purpose in teaching. LIA's transformation is also reflected in her work. His art becomes bolder, more expressive, capturing the complexity of human emotions and the beauty in simplicity. His personal blog, where he shares reflections on design, art, and philosophy, begins to gain followers, attracted by his authenticity and unique perspective. Chapter 5. The Test. LIA faces a new test that will test her commitment to the Stoic principles she has begun to embrace. An emerging design studio, known for its innovative approach and vibrant culture, is opening a call for graphic designers. LIA, feeling more prepared and confident than ever, decides to apply. This time, she not only faces the challenge of being selected from hundreds of candidates, but must also overcome the internal doubts that resurface as she remembers her past experiences of rejection. In the weeks leading up to the presentation of her portfolio, LIA immerses herself in her work with renewed passion. Each design reflects not only his technical skill, but also the depth of his personal growth. However, the real test is not building your portfolio. It is maintaining serenity and a stoic perspective in the face of the possibility of another rejection. On the day of the interview, LIA once again finds herself sitting in front of a panel of designers and creative directors. But this time, something is different. Although nerves are inevitable, she finds a foundation of calm and self-confidence that she didn't have before. LIA speaks about her work and her vision clearly, allowing her true passion for design to shine. More importantly, she openly shares the lessons learned from her failures and how they have led her to grow both personally and professionally. When the news arrives days later, LIA is prepared for any outcome. However, this time, the result is different. You get the call you've been waiting for. You've been chosen to join the design studio team. As emotion overcomes her, LIA takes a moment to reflect. She knows that this achievement is not only the result of her talent as a designer, it is also a validation of your journey towards embracing resilience and a stoic perspective. Chapter 6. The Transformation. LIA's acceptance into the design studio not only marks the beginning of her dream career, but also the consolidation of her personal transformation. Her success is a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of maintaining a balanced perspective in the face of life's challenges. However, what LIA does not anticipate is the impact her trip would have on those around her. As she integrates into her new work environment, LIA carries with her the Stoic teachings that have shaped her new way of living. Her calm and thoughtful approach to challenges, combined with an unwavering passion for her craft, quickly sets her apart among her colleagues. He becomes a source of inspiration and a voice of reason within the team, especially in times of tension or uncertainty. His influence extends beyond his technical skill. LIA begins to openly share her experience about how Stoic philosophy helped her overcome difficult times and see rejection not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity for growth. These conversations spark the interest of his colleagues, who begin to seek his advice not only on design issues, but also on personal challenges. One of the most shocking moments occurs during a team meeting when an important project is at risk of being canceled. The tension is palpable, and discouragement begins to spread among the team. It is then that LIA decides to share a quote from Marcus Aurelius that she had found particularly powerful. "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." Using it as a starting point, encourage your colleagues to reconsider their approach to the project, focusing on what they can control and constructively accepting the aspects they cannot change. This approach renews the team's spirit, and together they find a creative solution that saves the project. This collective success becomes a decisive moment for the studio, reinforcing the team's cohesion and its ability to overcome adversity. Chapter 7. The Renaissance. LIA views her journey now not only as a succession of events that took her from desperation to professional fulfillment, but as a profound inner transformation that has redefined her understanding of happiness, success, and purpose. His rebirth, marked by the adoption and practice of Stoic philosophy, is reflected in every aspect of his life, from his daily interactions to his approach at work. LIA's incorporation into the design studio has been a blessing for both her and her team. However, it is his personal growth, catalyzed by Stoic teachings, that he truly celebrates. Stoic wisdom has not only helped her navigate professional challenges with grace and determination, but it has also enriched her personal life, strengthening her relationships and giving her a sense of peace and contentment that previously eluded her. Aware of the positive impact Stoicism has had on her life, LIA decides to start a side project, a blog and a series of workshops designed to share Stoic teachings with others. Their goal is clear: to help people discover the serenity and inner strength that come from living a Stoic life. LIA's blog, titled Designing Serenity, quickly becomes a space for reflection and discussion for those interested in exploring how Stoic philosophy can be applied in the modern world. The workshops, combined with design sessions, attract a wide range of participants, from young creatives to professionals seeking a sense of balance in their hectic lives. As LIA shares her journey and wisdom with others, she realizes that her impact goes beyond what she had imagined. Her workshop participants' stories of personal and professional transformation reflect the universality of human challenges and the power of Stoic responses to them. Epilogue: A legacy of serenity. Looking back, LIA understands that her greatest achievement has not been her professional success, but the peace and clarity she has found along the way. His Stoic journey, marked by the pursuit of virtue, acceptance of destiny, and love of humanity, has become his most valuable legacy, one that he continues to generously share with all those willing to listen. LIA's story, from her days of doubt to her rebirth as a champion of Stoic wisdom, is a testament to the transformative power of philosophy in everyday life. Her journey demonstrates that no matter what challenges we face, serenity and inner strength are always within reach, waiting to be discovered through reflection, practice, and, above all, the will to grow. This story of LIA is a story of personal improvement, a journey from despair to the discovery of an inner strength guided by Stoic principles. The narrative underscores how ancient wisdom can illuminate our modern path, profoundly transforming lives in the process. If you have been inspired by LIA's transformation and are interested in exploring how Stoic principles can be applied in your own life, I invite you to discover more in the videos on my channel. Here, we delve into the teachings of Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and many others, offering you practical tools and reflections to navigate the challenges of everyday life with serenity and strength. Don't forget to subscribe and share so you don't miss any of our content, designed to help you cultivate a life of purpose, resilience, and inner peace, just like LIA. Join our community and begin your own Stoic journey toward personal growth.